You know, I've spent over 30 years sitting across from men just like you. Good men. Men who've worked hard their whole lives, raised families, built homes, and now find themselves wondering about something nobody ever really talked to them about. That quiet, private part of being a man: pleasure, health, confidence. So today let me share 5 things I wish every older man knew years ago. Let me start here, nice and easy. You see, the biggest misunderstanding I hear from men over 60 is this idea that they're somehow too old for this part of life. That touching yourself, enjoying yourself, somehow becomes dangerous after a certain age. I hear it all the time. Men get scared it'll harm their heart, make their prostate worse, or somehow take away from their energy. And when those worries creep in, many men just stop. But let me tell you, that's not the whole story. You're not broken. You're not doing anything wrong by staying connected to your body. Here's another thing I wish more men knew sooner. A lot of older men think that stopping completely is the safest choice. I get it. You might feel like less is better, like you're protecting yourself somehow. But here's the thing. When you go too long without any release, especially at our age, it can actually cause more problems than it solves. The prostate, that small gland down there, needs a little movement now and then to stay healthy. When it just sits day after day, month after month, it can lead to discomfort, pressure, and sometimes bigger health worries down the road. I remember Bob, 68, a retired mechanic living in Florida. Bob came to see me because he kept feeling like he had to use the bathroom all the time, even when he didn't really need to go. It started to bother him so much he couldn't sleep through the night. He was worried it might be something serious, like cancer. After checking him out and talking a bit, I explained that sometimes the prostate just gets a little sluggish when it's not used. Bob admitted he had stopped all sexual activity a few years back, thinking it was safer that way. He had no idea that a little release now and then could actually help. We talked about pacing himself, about making it part of his routine, not out of pressure, but out of care for his body. One of the simplest ways I've seen men help themselves is by setting a soft rhythm, just once or twice a week. Nothing intense, nothing rushed, just a little bit of time to keep things moving, to ease that inner tension. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to happen once in a while. Taking care of yourself doesn't always mean big changes or doctor visits. Sometimes it's these small, quiet habits that bring the most peace. You deserve that peace. You deserve to feel good in your own skin again. I remember a man named John, 72 years old, from a small town in Ohio. John lost his wife, Margaret, a few years back. They had been married for nearly 50 years. After she passed, he started worrying that his body wasn't safe anymore, especially after he had a heart scare. He told me, "Doc, I feel like that part of my life's over. Maybe I shouldn't even be thinking about it." My heart went out to him, because what he didn't realize was that touching yourself in moderation isn't harmful at all. In fact, for many men like John, it brings back a quiet sense of connection and peace. We talked through his fears slowly, and I reassured him that unless his doctor told him otherwise, he didn't have to give it up. It wasn't about pushing himself or chasing after what used to be. It was about finding comfort again, in a way that felt safe and right for him. What I often suggest in these situations is simple. Take your time. Let go of the pressure to perform. You don't need to push your body too hard. Listen to what feels good without forcing anything. If you have medical concerns, check in with your doctor first, just to ease your mind. But know this, staying connected to yourself in a gentle, mindful way is not something to be ashamed of. Your body hasn't given up on you, and you don't have to give up on it. You're alive, you're still here, and you still deserve quiet moments that remind you you belong to yourself. Now here's something that surprises a lot of older men when I bring it up. Over the years, I've noticed many of my patients fall into the same quiet trap. They rely too much on things like adult movies or intense online content just to feel something. At first it seems harmless, like a little entertainment, but after a while it starts to change the way they connect with their own body. What used to feel simple and natural starts to feel distant. You might even notice that regular touch doesn't seem to do much anymore. It's like your body starts expecting more and more noise, more stimulation, just to feel something real. I think of Mike, 75, a retired teacher from Texas. Mike told me how he started watching more and more of those videos online after his wife passed. It started out as a way to feel less lonely, but after a while, he noticed that without them, nothing really worked. He felt stuck, like his body had forgotten how to enjoy simple touch. Mike told me, "It's like I broke something in me, Doc." I could hear the frustration in his voice. We talked about it, really talked, and I told him something I've seen help many men like him, pulling back from all that extra noise. It wasn't easy at first, but little by little, Mike started spending quiet moments with himself. No screens, no videos, just him and his body. Over time, he started feeling again, really feeling, not just reacting to pictures on a screen. What often helps in situations like this is to turn off the screens, close your eyes, and bring your attention back to your own body. Let your mind wander to memories, to feelings of closeness, to things that feel true to you. Let it be about what's real, not what's staged. You don't need to chase bigger and louder to feel alive. Sometimes the quietest moments are the ones that wake up your heart and remind you you're still wonderfully human. Let's move on to something I think most men overlook, but it can make all the difference. I can't tell you how many times I've heard a man say, "I just want to get it over with and move on." It's like we've trained ourselves to rush through these moments, as if there's something to finish quickly and hide away. But here's what I've learned from working with older men. You don't have to race. In fact, slowing down is one of the best things you can do for your body and your mind. As we get older, our bodies naturally take more time to respond. That's not failure, that's just how life works. And when you slow down, you actually give yourself a chance to feel more, not less. I'll tell you about Henry, 70 years old, a retired postman from California. Henry had always approached this part of life like it was a task to check off the list. He told me he'd never really thought about it any other way, but after retirement he started noticing that rushing didn't feel right anymore. It left him tense, sometimes even a little frustrated. We talked about it one day and I asked him to try something different. I told him to lie down, close his eyes, and just breathe for a few minutes before even thinking about touching himself. At first he laughed, said it sounded silly, but later he told me it changed everything. By slowing down, by breathing deeply, and letting his body catch up to his mind, Henry found a whole new kind of peace. It wasn't about the finish line anymore. It was about enjoying the moment, feeling connected again. One of the simplest ways to start is by taking a few deep breaths and letting your hands rest on your stomach or chest before you do anything else. Feel your breath move in and out. Let your body relax before you begin. Take it slow, like you're learning to listen to yourself all over again. You deserve moments that aren't rushed or hurried. You deserve to feel every bit of life that's still flowing through you. Slow down. You just might find more waiting for you than you ever expected. Here's something I talk about more and more these days, especially with older men who struggle with sleep or carry a lot of worry on their shoulders. You know, stress doesn't go away just because we're older. In fact, I'd say for many of us it builds up even more. Worries about health, family, finances, the future. And when you carry all that tension around, it starts to show up in your body. You might find yourself lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, feeling like your mind just won't shut off. What a lot of men don't realize is that healthy release, yes, through self-pleasure, can actually help the body relax and settle down. It's not just about pleasure. It's about letting go of that tightness you've been carrying all day. I remember Sam, 74, a retired truck driver from Arizona. Sam came to me because he hadn't slept a full night in years. He tried pills, warm milk, meditation, you name it. One day, almost embarrassed, he asked if it was okay to, help himself once in a while to relax. I smiled and told him, "Not only is it okay, Sam, but it might be just the thing you've been missing." He started making it part of his bedtime routine, not every night, but when he felt the tension building up. He told me it helped him fall asleep faster, and more than that, it helped him wake up feeling less heavy in his chest. It wasn't magic, but it was real, and it gave him back a little bit of peace he hadn't felt in years. One of the easiest things you can try is making a little space in your evening, when the house is quiet, to just check in with yourself. Take your time. No pressure, no rush. Let it be part of unwinding, like you're putting down a heavy load for the night. Your rest matters. You deserve to wake up feeling lighter, more at ease, more alive. Even the smallest habit can help you carry tomorrow with a little more strength and a little more peace. If even one of these thoughts helped you breathe a little easier today, I'd love to hear about it. Drop me a comment and let me know what stood out the most for you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Remember, you are not alone. You are stronger than you think, and life keeps showing up, and if you keep reaching for it,